If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. All right, guys. So depending on how the night is going to turn out, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. All right. But I will try to get through this not as fast as possible, but as comfortably as possible. Please bear with me as well because I'm doing Nemesis. I'm covering Nemesis episodes 3 through 8. I've only watched every episode once except for episode 3. I watched episode 3 and 4. I'm actually just finishing 4. And I've only watched those 2 episodes 2 times. So there might be a lot of things that I won't discuss or that have escaped me or anything, but I'm going to try my best to do the best that I can because I wanted to get this done and over with before I start covering the Shy, okay? I want to start it and finish it. So here we go. First and foremost, I want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I did tell my members that I kind of wished that it was a limited series because sometimes I just like stuff to be one and done. Like I don't want to be waiting for something to come back and things of that nature. Like I would just rather get the story started and then there's a conclusion and we're good. Let's move on to the next, right? So anyway, but I loved it. I want to talk very, very, very briefly, just mention the soundtrack. I really liked the soundtrack. I like how there was old school music, a mixture of throwback 90s music. And I guess old school would be, for me, would be 90s, 80s. So I won't say old school, I'll just say like throwbacks or whatever. And then a mixture of the new music, right? So it can definitely target both demographics, an older generation and a younger generation. So, all right, y'all. So let's get this started. What's up, Art Love and J Mac and Rashonda Greer? How are you guys? Okay, so guys, in episode number 3, the officers are conducting a stakeout outside of Coltrane's crew's house, right? Each individual, Choi, not Choi's house, but Choi's business. You know, they're just following them, right? So he has Isaiah has his members of his task force on each individual. So we see that Dion is living a double life. He has a wife and he has another woman who we later find out didn't even know about Rena. But Rena knew all about her, which is crazy. Knew about her and the kids and everything for years. Like that sucks. That freaking sucks. But anyway, his wife Rena, she wants to put a down payment on the house, but he says he doesn't have the money. And of course we know why, right? Like no matter how many robberies or whatever these guys do, they freaking, he's a gambler. So he continues to, never have it. I love what Cerulo said. He's like, if he's, what does he need money for? Basically, he's a gambler. No, Brinkley. Is that his name, Brinkley? The young protege guy. He was like, why does he need money? If they're robbing banks, why does he need money? And Cerulo was like, well, he got to be gambling, because you take somebody like that, they can have $1 million or 2 million, however many millions of dollars, go to Vegas and come back freaking on a dirty bus with nothing. And that's sad. You know what I mean? That's sad. I don't even know why you would want to have $1 million and then go gamble it away. Like, it's a sickness, obviously. What's up, Star and Toya and Rashonda? Did I say hi to you, Rashonda? So guys, Jimmy gives Isaiah 48 hours to come up with the watch because he's like that. All the other stuff is dead in the water. We're not dealing with this situation about, you trying to chase Coltrane. Like, you think your man is Coltrane Wilder? Like, he's a reformed, criminal, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a businessman now. So, he's like, I'll give you the watch situation because we know that that's something, right? That's something real. Isaiah can't prove anything. So we know that the watch situation is something real. So that's what I'm going to give you. You only get 48 hours to get that stolen watch or the task force is done, this is over. Like, I'm not going to be going through this with you. Okay. And as we have already seen, Jimmy is like a father to Isaiah. So he gets away with a lot, unfortunately. And I think I think having someone like him so close, being so close to the captain, it really may have created a little bit of a monster in him. Okay, so let me just explain, because the monster in him obviously comes from his father, because we see that he's very much like his dad. But that monster is enabled, right? And it's able to grow even more to do certain things because he's got a father figure like Jimmy, who looks out for him, right? And sticks his neck out sometimes and blah, blah, blah. So anyway. Okay, so we know how that watch situation turns out, guys. And we'll talk about it soon. So, guys, let's talk about Ika real quick. Ika, he's the one that he goes undercover with the gangs and stuff like that. And he was, and Tata was his CI. And Isaiah messed that up for him. Okay, so he finds Isaiah and he tells, and of course he puts a blicky to Isaiah's head. He shows that he is absolutely pissed for what he did, ruining his case. Okay. And so Isaiah tries to play the whole thing, oh, that's my bad, but a dead snitch is a big lead. He's trying to play it like, oh, this is good for all of us and everything like that. I know it's gonna, make me close the case and blah, blah, blah. And Ika's like, your case, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I have nothing. Like, and that's messed up, and he did say, has anybody ever told you that you're selfish? You only care about yourself? And Isaiah was like, yeah, my wife. And I'm just like, Isaiah is just a hot freaking mess, guys. Okay. So then, guys, Jimmy comes in to remind Isaiah that getting the snitch deleted was basically unproductive because you didn't get anywhere. Like, it was for nothing. You went after this guy and you still got nothing. Okay. And it got Ika's case blown. So, and you still don't have the watch. So time is ticking, so you better hurry the heck up, okay? So next, Coltrane has to get on Dion about all the heat that he's been putting the crew under. And now everybody is on board, but only because Coltrane was like, yeah, everything is okay right now, but we have one loose end. And he looks over at Dion. And what is it? It's that freaking watch. So everybody else is like, yo, stupid, you still got the watch and blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, y'all told me not to sell it, so, I'm wearing it, whatever. So, Astro is like, you stupid, yo, So then they got to go get the watch back. That's what they have to do, okay? So we also find out that there's an inside person that Charlie has in the LAPD. We find out who that is later on. We find out that, and just so you guys know, I'm going to try my best to go, not scene by scene, but in order, but it's not going to be like that throughout the whole time, okay? I'm going to go in and out, however, so, because I might forget something if I don't talk about it right then and there when it comes to my mind, okay? So, we find out that, that person is, not Cruz. I forgot the other Spanish lady's name. Latina, but it was her. She was the little inside person that Charlie had working for her. Okay, so he's putting the let's see, where am I at? Okay, so now they have to get the watch back, right? And so they break into Harvey's house to give him, I'm sorry, they didn't have to, yes, Harper, thank you, our love. So they didn't have to get the watch back, they had to give the watch back. Okay, there we go. So they give the watch back, they break. This scene was so, oh my gosh, to me, I love this scene. It was dope. Like, just the song, everything, them breaking in, them making the dogs lay down and, feeding the dogs something to put them down, sedate them, or whatever the heck happened to the dogs. And then them coming in and telling him, like, listen, here you go, your watch, okay? And don't you say anything. You need to withdraw your complaint, okay? And plus we know everywhere you stay. We know where your mama stay, your aunt, your sister, your you just every freaking body that this guy comes in contact with, and the locations, they was just laying it out. I said, oh gosh, excusez-moi. Anyway, I know it's not excusez-moi. I just be adding my own little things sometimes, so don't be trying to correct me, y'all. Anyway, so I want to talk really quickly. Just I want to mention this thing that Brinkley said when they saw that Dion had like another woman, a whole another life on the other side of town. Cerullo was like, that is not good. Talk about gambling. Like, that's not good for him to have two women, be juggling these women or whatever. And Brinkley was like, oh no, that's he's winning. Like, you know, if one woman is giving you heat, he can come on the other side and you know, gets with the other chick, you know, help him, you know, relax his mind or whatever. You know, I'm gonna paraphrase. And he said, Cerullo was like, trust me, kid, like, one woman is more than enough to handle. Like, and I was like, you better school him. You best to school him, honey. Okay. So let's talk really quickly also about the cast. Like, we see some very familiar faces in the cast. Of course, we've got, Shane from, and I forgot his last name, but he plays sax in Power. So you know Courtney Kemp, she loves some Shane. She's gonna have him on. We had the attorney who whoever the representative is for the Wilders, kind of like, I don't really know who this guy is, but he also was on Power. He played like a prosecution or something like that, trying to put away people like was it James St. Patrick, the case against what's her name, guys? Oh, it was that guy. Was he a governor? What? I don't remember what he was, but y'all see him in this show, right? I don't have a picture of him or anything like that, but he was in Power. I wish I had the names, guys. I'm so sorry. And thank you, Art Loves. You like my French? I appreciate it. But who else do we have? There's another guy that's in a show, and he has it's the chief. Oh my gosh, that jerk face, man, oh man, that jerk face. And I'm not trying to disrespect the actor, but he has a jerk face, and I remember him as a jerk in something else, and I'm not sure if it's from The Wire or what, but we know definitely that Herc is from The Wire. That's Cerullo, that's what I'm talking about. We know he's from The Wire, so that's another familiar face. Brother Muzone, I don't even remember him in this. I don't even remember him, yo. I'm so sorry, Art, but thank you for bringing that up. So, yeah, and so starring Toya is saying Benny, so that is true. So that's a connection to Power again, and I forgot that he was Benny from Power. I forgot about that. But when I see Cerullo or Cousin Benny, automatically I think of Herc from The Wire. That's the first character that I think of, because that character is notorious. I feel like he's more notorious than Benny, right? Uncle Benny. So I'm sorry, Cousin Benny. But anyway, guys, there was some more familiar faces, but I just wanted to point out those people. I wasn't prepared to do that. That's why I'm kind of like, you know. Anyway, kind of don't really know the names and what I'm talking about, but it's all good. Starring Toya said Benny was in The Wire. Oh yeah, honey, absolute. I'm talking about in it, way more than daggone than he was in Power. Like, his name is Herc on there, and he was a son of a gun, but a very, you know, cool character though. Like, you know, not very likable, but I guess we tolerated him. Did we tolerate him, Art Loved? Talk about it. Boss Cop was brother. That was him? Oh my gosh. Jimmy? Yo, Art Love. Jimmy was Brother Muzone. Like, I'm telling you, like, I saw his face. I saw his face, but I didn't realize, like, I didn't make the connection. Of course, he's a lot older. This has been over 25 years, but I just did not make that connection. That is freaking crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, look, shout out to The Wire. I appreciate them bringing in folks from The Wire. That is what's up. Now, So let me ask you this, Art Love. The jerk face chief, the white guy, the one that he kept saying, and I knew his name at one point, but I don't know it anymore. Yes, RD. Hey, she said he looks so different now. He definitely looks different to me a little bit. The jerk face chief, the one that kept saying, I don't, toward the end, he was, when the kid got in trouble, Noah, they were trying to find Noah. He was like, I don't care about Noah. I don't care about the kid. I don't care about Isaiah or whatever. We just need to find Coltrane, or we just need to do whatever he was saying that he wanted to happen. Is he from The Wire? Cause I'm telling you, that face right there is a face that I just can't. I feel like he's from The Wire, but I don't know. And if he was from The Wire, was he on season 2 with the whole docking thing? Anyway, let me know, cause I'm really like going crazy over this guy right now, cause I know I've seen his face before. Sabaka, yeah, was that him? J Mac, I think that was him, right? Sabaka or whatever the heck, Sabatka. I think that was him, and I did like him in The Wire. If that was him, I did like him in The Wire, but he still has a jerk face. No offense to the guy who plays him. All right, let's move on. So Dion has this heart to heart with Train, and he apologizes for screwing up all the time, right? Because now it's just like everybody's kind of like, made him feel kind of stupid, because before, and I think episode 1, when he was coming at Train like, yo, you owe us because you was going and done, and I understand you was having your problems and blah blah blah, but you owe us, and then Train was like, is he speaking for everybody? And it was kind of like, yeah. This time everybody was getting on him, okay, because now you don't put us on the radar, right? So he tells Train that he's not perfect, but he always cleans up his mess. And Train tells him, yeah, you do, but one of these days your mess is going to be too big for any of us to clean up, okay? And guys, you already know, indeed it was, okay? Starring Toya. If you haven't seen The Wire, baby, please go watch it. It's very good. And then what you can do is you can go back to my playlist, and I recapped it. Me and Moochie, we recapped every freaking episode, all 5 seasons, okay? But you might, I would say you might want to be careful, because I think some of them there were some spoilers in there by mistake. But anyway, I try to make it not non-spoilerific though, but there was one particular spoiler. All right. So guys, Ebony finds out that she's pregnant. I'm going to try to move on a little bit. She finds out that she's pregnant. Then we have, and this is I'm not going to say it's unwelcoming news, but it was surprising to her, right? Wasn't expecting it. They're still, grieving over the loss of the other baby, which was about probably 7 months ago. So Isaiah and Noah, they are playing a one-on-one in basketball, right? And Noah tells Isaiah that, this doesn't make up for ruining Thanksgiving. So Isaiah says, listen, I see you are, love. I apologize for what happened, but you stood in my house and you cursed me. Don't you ever talk to me like that again. And as much as Isaiah gets on my nerve, the type of person that he is, he's very selfish. I was saying this in the recap for episodes 1 and 2. But I was like, you daggone right, you better let him know. Don't let him get away with that. Talking about some high key, just don't make up for. Boy, you better be happy that I didn't put you down. And I don't mean put you down, but you know what I'm talking about. You lucky little boy. The heck? Cursing at me like that. You must be out of your freaking mind. Anyway, he did humble himself. He was like, all right, I'm sorry. But, whatever's going on between you and Grandpa, the stuff that he was saying. And Isaiah stopped him. He said, listen, whatever's going on between us, that's between us, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And Noah, when it comes to him and his son, guys, it's a very strong possibility I'm going to get these names mixed up. Like, I have 2 cousins, they're brothers. Their names are Noah and Isaiah. And I don't even be around them, but I could imagine how hard it would be to get those names together. So he's like, whatever's going on between us, that's between us. Like we have a history, you know, whatever. You need to stay out of that, whatever. And Noah's like, well, why can't you tell me so, you know, I can understand or whatever. He's like, no, we're just gonna leave that alone. And I'm just like, here we go. Oh shoot, the light then came out. Y'all, hold on, sorry. You know, I'm still trying to get everything together. I haven't settled into my new home. I really haven't settled, so the background is gonna be looking crazy, guys. Sorry, so I'm like, here we go again. And what I mean by this is because the people behind it, one of the people, the creators is Courtney Kemp. I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern here where I'm like, do you like having these moments or these conversations or dynamics between a father and a son where the son wants to know this information, aka Tariq and Ghost, and the father doesn't want to give him the information, or he wants to hide certain things from the kid, and the kid is just like, can you please tell me, I just need to know. And like, what's the, and I'm not gonna say obsession, because I respect, you know, Courtney Kemp and her art and everything. I think she's a talented woman, but I want to know why this seems to be something that happens in with her stories when it comes to the youth and their parents. And we know she has shared that she did not have the best relationship with her dad, but it seems like she always chooses a young man to clash with his father. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can point out a healthy relationship between father and son in the Power universe, please enlighten me. Like, for real. Like, I'm really asking you. But especially a young boy, right? Like this kid, what is he, like 15? And he wants to know, like, what's going on. And, you know, well, I like grandpa, so I'm not going to stop seeing him and things of that nature. And Isaiah's like, well, what you like about him? Oh, he listens. Okay. So this is something that you would think Isaiah would freaking listen to. But once again, that's not the case, because he's more concerned about finding the deleter of his partner. Okay. But anyway, guys, yeah, that I'm gonna touch more on that a little bit later. But yeah, it just looks like a repeat of the Ghost and Tariq story. Not really, but just a little bit, right? And I feel like Isaiah could share the information. You can share why you don't mess with your dad like that. Like, what's so hard? Your son is almost, like, listen, he's not grown, but he's old enough, right? Where he can take the information, all right? Not only can he take the information, if you don't give it to him, he's at that freaking age where he will try to go look for it himself. He's going to start sneaking off this and that, like he's already been doing, going over to his grandfather's house and freaking doing what, guys? Smoking weed. That daggone Amos, like, I really liked him, and then he disappointed me toward the end. And I'm bringing this up right now because if I, maybe later on I might forget. So I'm going to talk about him right here and right now. Not everything, but right here and right now, because I was rooting for him as a grandfather and to reconcile with Isaiah. And since Isaiah is just so, you know, obsessed with getting Coltrane, I didn't really expect him to reconcile with Isaiah. But I thought that he was going to be a better grandfather, right? To where he failed with his sons, maybe he was going to be a better grandfather. But instead, you turned, oh, you took my money, so I went out and created, committed a crime. Like, what, bro? That's, you old, my guy. What are you talking about? That's crazy. What are you talking about? Just like the whole thing, oh, we never snitch. I told my sons we never snitch. So that means that when it comes to your grandson, you're not going to tell your son that your grandson found some weed and was trying to smoke it. Like, when do you draw the line, right, between the street life and you actually being an adult and a parent, a grandparent, whatever? Like, that part annoyed the crap out of me. So anyway, y'all, let me see if I could find these pictures, because I was all right, here we go. All right, so this is not a good picture, but Star and Toya said Grandpa didn't have to go, right? He didn't, but he was bugging out. You knew, like, come on, like, you knew there was not going to be anything going on for him after all of the stuff that he did. You know that crazy shootout, y'all? That shootout was insane. And them, whew, that machinery they was using, baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah, somebody else told me this. That Isaiah plays somebody on Abbott Elementary. I like that show. I think it's cute. I want to get into it. And Isaiah is like McNulty. Yeah, absolutely. Great. All right, so here's this scene, guys. Now, Charlie tells Ebony that she bought her a house just in case, right? You see certain things are happening, and you know, she sees that Dion is a liability, and she failed, when it came to trying to get him out of here. Coltrane ain't gonna do nothing about him. So now she's trying to create a plan for her sister to get away from Coltrane if she has to, right? A backup plan. So Charlotte tells her that if you don't make a plan for yourself, I'm gonna make one for you, right? And she was definitely giving me rock, guys. This is probably the only time that she was giving me rock. I actually do like Charlotte, but I just felt like it was rock in this scenario right here, because it was like, I'm gonna make one for you if you don't do it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh gosh. Like, I was explaining to my my members, I said it was giving I own you, ninja. Like, that's the vibes I was getting. But to her defense, I see where she's coming from. Overall, her character, she's a businesswoman. She can be pretty cutthroat, but she loves her sister. But she's a little jealous, y'all. Did you see her reaction when Ebony mentioned Candace? She was like Candace said, we have to stick together and this and that. Like, basically her and her husband need to stick together. Who the F is Candace? I said, oh gosh, why are you acting like a jealous wife or something? That was crazy. So she definitely don't want to hear nothing about Candace or anybody else, okay? Even when later on, when Coltrane asked Ebony to start, trying to stir up some issues between Candace and Isaiah, she didn't think that she was going to be able to do it. She, meaning Charlie, didn't believe that her sister had it in her anymore to do that, right? So she tried to come up with her own little thing. And she was like, what's her name? Ebony was like, yeah, I got her to talk and this and that, and she's doing everything, whatever. It's going according to plan. I'm kind of jumping ahead, y'all. It's going according to plan. And she was like, oh, so I guess I see, you can do stuff even with your little, you could forsake your little friendship to take care of business, right? The greater good of the family. And she was like, I'm willing to do anything to protect my family, right? Even hurt someone that I care for. And she was like, care for? Like, I said, gosh, she can't care for somebody else? Insane, child. Whatever, girl. I like Charlotte, though. Hey, Miss K. Hi, Queen Yolanda. She's not watching this, just gonna listen to you. I watched your other breakdown. I see mixed reviews. Some say watch, some say it's whack. Aw. Well, I would not say don't waste your time. I think it's worth it, honey buns. Definitely worth it. Only thing I will say, like I said before, that I would have appreciated it more if it was a limited series. I don't feel like it's something that needed to be. It don't need to be another series, in my opinion. The way they wrote it, you definitely gonna have to come back for more. But I think they could have wrapped it up. That's just my opinion, though. But it's not trash. I think it's really good. So, let's see, guys. So, next, guys, Charlie, she meets with a guy named Andre. Now, let me see if I have that. Yeah. So, she meets with a guy named Andre, guys. Oh, my gosh. He's like an Armenian, I want to say drug dealer, but, he's a part of a crime family, right, that gets busy. So, he proposes a very risky job, and Charlie tells him that she has to think about it. And then she stands up, and he bangs on the table like, sit down, like he flipped out on her. Okay? And then he got real threatening. So my thing is, he had like 4 vials of different drugs in them, and he was sniffing each one. Okay? It had, oh gosh, y'all could remember. I don't remember, but he had one of them, and he had one of them had ketamine in it, and I forgot what that was for, if y'all can remind me. But that was to make one of the drugs that he had. So he wants her crew to rob this warehouse that he could get a whole bunch of ketamine, right? And obviously they're gonna be able to do whatever they want to do with that. She's like, it's very risky. So he told her that when he gives her a job, she needs to get it done, basically. Okay, so basically, like, you won't have no choice. Okay, one of them had acid in it. Okay, he said he takes it everywhere he goes. Every day he takes them, even in church and all this craziness. And I'm like, and that's a red flag. And I think when she saw him doing all that, she did look uncomfortable, like it was a red flag, because of the fact that this is a lot of drugs, and a lot of times when people are on acid, they crazy, okay, and they flip out, as you can see. He can't even control himself. 1 minute he's cool, and then as soon as something goes on, he's bugging out, flipping on her. Okay, so he basically is threatening her, saying, you know, it's not a choice, it's not a request, it's not really a proposal. This is like an order. You need to, you know, get this done. So now she's feeling like her back is against the wall. So now she has to call Coltrane and let him know. Okay. One thing about this scene that I thought was very interesting was that when he told her that he's never alone, so like don't try to play, everybody that was sitting around, because they're like eating outside of, you know, a restaurant or whatever, you know, they're dining outside. Every single person that was outside dining got up with him and walked. They were all with him. I said, that's excessive, guys. Okay, really is. But I liked it. All right, let's see what some of you guys talking about. I feel that just wrap some of these up. No need for a second. Yeah, no need for some of these shows. Like, no. All right, starring Toya says Courtney Kemp got a new deal with Apple TV. I guess that's a wrap with Netflix, right? I guess so. I did hear about that too. Okay, so this is Andre, guys, you know, acting all crazy and stuff. So this scene right here is where Charlie tries to give the job to Train, but he tells her that it's not a good idea. Like, you were right, it's too hot right now, blah, blah, blah. It's time to focus on Ebony and all this and that. And so it's like, oh my gosh. The thing that I do respect about Charlie is that because her sister is with Coltrane, she's not going to try to strong arm him into doing anything. Like that guy just tried to pull on her. She's not going to try to pull that on him because she wants what's best for her sister. So whatever's best for her sister is the route that she's going to take, which I do like about her. And I hope that she doesn't change, because if they wind up making that change, I feel like that's that goes against her character, you know? So now, guys, let's see. I don't have a picture of this. So it's the night of the gala, guys, and I'm moving ahead too fast. So then it's the night of the gala, and Isaiah keeps his word to his wife, and he shows up, okay? But he does not put away his phone. He's still kind of working and all this. And what he doesn't know is that Malik, Candace's old boyfriend from where is that, college, he's being honored. Okay, he's the man of the night, excellence award and all that crap. And he was like, after the fact, because you know I'm gonna come back, but after the fact, he was like, why didn't you tell me that he was man of the year or whatever the heck he was, the excellence award or whatever. She was like, I tried to tell you during therapy or whatever. And I'm just like, how you try to tell somebody something during therapy and you don't wind up doing it, right? Because to me, that's always the perfect opportunity. All you got to do is say, there's one more thing before we close the session or whatever. Like, I really want to tell you. And boom, you lay it on them. Like, why would you say, I tried to tell you during therapy, and then, like, whatever. Some stuff And with this situation, just a little stupid to me. Okay, so now the real highlight of the night is that Coltrane is there, right, with his wife, because Candace and Ebony, they work together and they're becoming friends, guys, okay? And so Candace introduces Coltrane. She introduces the Wilders. Oh, this is my friend Ebony, and this is her husband, Coltrane Wilder. And oh my gosh, of course, the look on Isaiah's face, like, oh my gosh, my white whale is right in front of me. Oh my gosh, could you imagine somebody in his position just itching? He probably just itching. Anyway, so they have a very interesting conversation at the bar, guys. Coltrane says that, he's come to learn in his travels that real men tend to live by their own set of rules, while lesser men obey the law or enforce it. And I really liked this conversation because for the most part, we've seen that Coltrane is kind of like a humble, low-key type of guy. But when he got in front of Isaiah, he was talking kind of heavy because look who it is. Isaiah is a very arrogant type of guy. Certain things that happened during this show, right? He got on my nerves really, really bad. And you guys want to talk about, and I mean, he was very insensitive with certain things. When Dion died, he was very insensitive. Like, it was just, I didn't like it, and I just kind of felt like he's very disconnected, like you're feeling upset about your partner being deleted, but then you can't even try to like have any type of, I don't know, understanding. I don't care if this is a criminal. This is still someone's brother, father, husband, son, like, you know what I'm saying? And he act like he didn't have no type of like he didn't care about anyone else's life except for the people that he cares about. And I just didn't like that. And you want these people to try to help you, but you acting all stupid when it comes to just being a whole jerk when it comes to, their mourning process. I didn't like that. So when Coltrane tells Isaiah this, he was like, oh yeah, Brianna. I talked about her last week, though. I mean, a few days ago. She was the therapist. She's from The Wire as well. So that was another. I'm like, I know I'm missing somebody else, right? Okay. She's from The Wire. She's from freaking Snowfall. She's been around. All right. Isaiah tells Train that he's playing with fire, and Train says, no, you got it all wrong. I'm Prometheus. I bring the fire. And then he was like, drink. Here, just get a drink. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Isaiah said, no, I don't need you to pay for my drink. I pay for my own drink. And once again, you got it all wrong, my guy. The night is on me. Drinks are on me. The whole night is on me. I sponsored this, okay? Isn't that funny? So go on, have a drink. Drink up, okay? Now, Isaiah, guys, he's so focused on Train that he doesn't even have time to check Malik for flirting with his wife. Malik comes up like, oh, you don't have a drink in your hand. A woman without a drink in her hand, it's not good. And whatever stupidness he said, right? And then he said, now come and introduce me to the head of the board and all that stuff. And then they walk away with her arm in his arm. This is her ex-boyfriend that comes up every now and then and also works very closely with Isaiah because he's the DA, right? Something like that. Or something like an AUSA or one of those type of people. So anyway, then he gives her a ride home, guys. And Isaiah is watching all of this. He is so busy, trying to follow Coltrane, but he is seeing his wife from across the way, and he sees her getting in the car with another man. But he doesn't stop her. He doesn't try to call her, nothing. Because why? He got to follow Coltrane. And I'm just like, I can't understand this. Like, this is just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Okay. Next, Isaiah tells Coltrane that Ebony tells Coltrane that she's pregnant, okay? So she didn't tell him that she was pregnant in the scene that I'm talking about, but she, let me see if I can find the picture. She told him at the gala, and I was very happy that she did, because I was afraid that she wouldn't, and I kind of was scared that something was going to happen to her, and then she would have died without telling him or whatever, you know. Not to say that would have made it better, but I was just afraid for her life, to be honest with you, because I'm like, really, she's having a baby? But the whole point of, I guess, the creators making her pregnant is that this was going to change a lot of things for the story, which I understood. So she tells him that she's pregnant, and she tells him at the gala. They go off, and she tells him, and I'm glad that this time there was no interruption. But when they leave, when they're driving home, she's like, why aren't you saying anything to me and everything? And he's very quiet. Coltrane's very quiet. So she says, well, I thought I had the picture, guys. I don't have it. She says to him, why are you so quiet? This and that. He says, come on, get out the car. So they got out the car. He tells her, he said, listen, that guy, your friend's wife, that's the cop that's been after me, blah, 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 blah. I said, your friend's wife. Your friend's husband, that's the cop. He's been after me, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know if he put something in the car, this and that. So, you know, I'm going to need you to just call your sister, because she called me for a job, and I said no, because I just thought that, you know, it wasn't the time and all of this, but now we need it. It's going to bring us a lot of money, and this will have a set. So now this would definitely be the last job. Call your sister and tell her that I'm going to take the job. Okay? So that's what needs to happen now. All right, let's see where we at. Let me see what y'all talking about, and then we're going to move forward. Miss K, I know you didn't like Dion and his cub, but he was good as Magic Johnson in Winning Time. Okay, I thought I seen him somewhere. Okay? I'm going to address Dion. His coming up. Isaiah was giving old Tommy vibes, just reckless. Yeah, just reckless. It was just ridiculous. He was ridiculous. So the crew gets ready, guys, because now, you know, they're gonna do what they gotta do. Ebony calls her sister and lets it be known, and she's like, "Is the job, you know, like, is it risky?" And Charlie tells her that it's worth the squeeze, okay? And she's like, well, nothing better happens to him and whatever. She's like, it won't. Like, I need him, so it's nothing's gonna happen, okay? And that's another thing. If Isaiah never called back or had Ebony called back to do the job, what the heck was Charlie gonna do? Now we did get to witness that this chick is very resourceful, but does she have backup robbers? I don't know about that. Like in case he needs a fourth man, she does have somebody like, oh, I got somebody to cover you for that. But I don't think she has like a whole backup crew. I really don't. Because my thing is, why would you have a backup crew that, you know, you just got them on standby and they're not getting active? If they were a backup crew, I think it would be smart to make sure that you keep them working, because why would I want to be on the back burner just waiting for a job when you got this crew that knows what they do and they're in and out, they got military experience and blah, 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 and all of this. What do you need us for? You just got us freaking waiting, unless you got them waiting on payroll. But you want smart people. So that was my question. You know, kind of like scratching my head a little bit. Well, what would have happened? What would she have done if Coltrane never had Ebony call her back for the job? You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I also want to say is that she doesn't have like muscle like that. Yes, and I'm talking about Charlotte. Yes, she is you know, resourceful. You see, she has her ways of getting things done. She really does. But up against a real like large crime family, you know, that goes far back and everything, and they got far reach, this lady can't hold a candle to them. So she's really like, that's a very serious weak spot of hers that she's gonna have to do something about that, because I don't see how she's gonna be able to really be her own woman when somebody like Andre and his family can strong arm her like that. I don't see it. But let's see, guys. Okay, so let me see if I could find these pictures. Okay, here we go. So Harvey, guys, tells Isaiah and Vidge that he made a mistake about the watch. Okay. He says that there was no false claim. You know, he messes up because he tells two different stories. Talks about, oh, my girl, whatever, and my ex, or whatever he said. And before he said something else, okay? Now, of course, Styles, he goes looking around the house and everything while Vidge is talking to Harvey. And he sees something. I'm not going to lie. Listen, he's a very good cop. So, Art Love, what you were saying with that comparison with him being a lot like McNulty. McNulty was good police. Like, very good police. Like, you really couldn't get too much over on him. But he used to do things in a very, you know, unconventional way, unethical, all that stuff. And that's basically how Isaiah is. So Isaiah is looking around the house and he's looking at, you know, the people outside fixing his house because it was broken in, and he sees the dogs, the dishes, the dog dish, you know, just sitting over there, and he's like, where's your dogs at? You know, and he's like, oh, they're at the vet, you know. So he says to him, you know what? And you see the scratch on Harvey's face. He says, you know what? I do believe you. I do believe that, you know, you got the watch back, but I think that somebody broke into your house and they gave you it back, and it sure wasn't your ex-girlfriend. Okay? So that's that. All right, so we're going to move on to like episode 4, somewhat like that. Coltrane shows up to Isaiah's game. Now, let me see if I have a picture of that. I don't have a picture of it, but I have a picture of Isaiah's face. Did I say Coltrane shows up to Isaiah's game? I'm sorry. I told you I was going to mix some names up. He showed up to Noah's game, okay? And boy, oh boy, was Isaiah heated. Like, what the heck is he doing here? He's trying to torture me. He's trying to taunt me and blah, 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 you know. And, you know, lo and behold, it really wasn't like that. Like, Coltrane has been doing this. He was dropping off sneakers for the players. And this is the 3rd year that he's done this. Like, he's really made himself known in the community, right? And I thought that was funny when he was like, he's a fake A, Nino Brown. This ninja think he Nino Brown on Thanksgiving. I said, yeah, I guess so. So, Amos was also there, okay? But he was invited by Noah, and Isaiah wasn't happy about that either, because who did Amos come in there with? He calls the thug disciples. That's what Isaiah called them. Like, look at the people, look at the company he keeps. I don't really want him coming around my son if this is what he's going to be freaking doing. Like, come on, right? So I want to bring up this point, though, later on, when he was talking to, when they were having dinner or whatever, that was breakfast, dinner or something, at the table with his wife and his son, he said something about, you know, bringing, Isaiah, I think Noah brought it up that, you know, you're going to punish me or whatever for letting or inviting my grandfather to the game. Isaiah said, no, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to get in the way with that. And it just was like, oh, wow. So you got mom over there, like, shocked that he said it. And almost looked like it turned her freaking behind on. Look, if I wish I had a picture of her face, she looked like she got wet. And then, I'm so sorry. I wish I could. I want to talk like that because that's how I want to talk. But it just seems so nasty. What she did though. Do y'all remember that? She looked like she was horny in an instant. Okay, that Isaiah was so understanding and things of that nature, and she was like, oh, well, it's like the old Isaiah. I'm glad to know he's still in there. Anyway, y'all, so they went upstairs and got it in because of that. He told me some Isaiah, go to bed, lift it up, and whatever. So anyway, it even put Isaiah in. I'm sorry, I keep saying Isaiah. Noah, go to bed. So it even put Noah in a good mood, and he was like, "Oh, you guys done? You want me to wash your dishes?" I said, "Zag, all it takes is for you to cooperate with your family and show some understanding and everything like that." And they just look. Panties off, son doing chores, like, what the heck? Brother, you better understand that it's very simple to keep your family happy. This freaking idiot. Oh gosh, Isaiah is such a freaking moron, yo. Let me tell you something about this actor. He also, y'all talk about how he plays somebody in Abbott Elementary. He also plays somebody named Kareem on The Oval. And I stopped watching the Oval years ago because I used to cover that thing. And I stopped watching it years ago, and I could not stand him, okay? I really couldn't. But, of course, I'm able to separate characters. So I didn't see any glimpses of Kareem in Isaiah. He's playing a total different guy, but he still sucks at the end of the day. And I hate that he's manipulative as well. Like the certain things, this moment, excuse me, right here, where he's trying to act like he's all understanding. Like sometimes it's hard to see, like, Isaiah, where is this coming from? Why all of a sudden you acting like you're so cooperative and you're so, you know what I mean, for your family, or you're just an understanding guy? You know, it's like, what do you got up your sleeve? And then, you know, at this point, you know what happened, right? He left the game for a minute to go chase after Stro and Coltrane to see what, I guess, to go see where they were or whatever, and they was gone by that time. Okay? And what happened? He missed the freaking, oh my gosh. The boy hit a 3 and it won the game, his son, and he missed it. That sucks, to go to the game and miss a shot like that. Like, that freaking sucks. So now he wants to go and give his wife this matching, because he bought her a bracelet for their anniversary, and then he gives her a matching necklace to the bracelet, which happened to be bugged, guys. And at that time when he was giving it to her, this is for me missing the winning shot. And I'm like, really, Isaiah? Like, that's kind of that's excessive. Again, like, what are you up to, right? And we find out that's exactly what was going on, right? That's mine. Bring it over here. Yes, you know it is. It's not done. Sorry. No, it's not. I'm live, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I was late to my live. I had to push my live back because I wasn't planning on cooking today, but I wound up trying to cook and I had to stop because the time just be flying. Time be flying, so I had to stop cooking. I'm only making spaghetti, and this kid up here looking like he's hungry. Yeah, go ahead. It's upstairs in my room. I don't really want you to have one though. Oh my gosh. Anywho. So, yeah, so they waiting on this. So I don't even try to hurry up. Gotta finish this food. It's late. It's 10 o'clock. Oh well, we late. We late around here. So, what was I saying? Dang. Can y'all remind me? I done forgot what the heck I was saying. I'm so sorry, y'all. You know how it is when it's live and I got my kids and stuff. Yeah, so he winds up bugging the thing because he knew that she was going over to Ebony's house. I'm like, this guy is such a freaking jerk. Like, there's nothing that he does that's genuine, you know? The only thing that I could say that probably was genuine was when he went over to his father's house and he said, listen, I'm sorry about what happened at Thanksgiving and everything. Maybe we could really try to work on us and everything. That was the only time when I felt like there was no ulterior motive there, right? And then he's like, let me come in or whatever. And then when he went inside, he saw his son there smoking weed with the homies. And I was like, oh my gosh, Amos, what are you doing? Oh, so that was ruined. That moment was freaking ruined. I also don't like the fact that the son, Noah, he never told the truth about the fact that his father, his grandfather, protected him and didn't snitch on him for taking that little blunt or whatever. All right, so Stro, guys, let's get back to this. I'm so sorry. So Stro and Train, they noticed Amos at the game and they remembered him. Like, Stro was like, yo, remember OG? Did you see what I see? That was OG back there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, yeah, I remember he had one son under the ground, and he had one son that was trying to be a cop. So Stro was like, oh, so you think that's his father? You think that's Styles' dad? And Coltrane was like, I don't know, but we need to find out. But I did notice that there's a lot of tension between them two. I'm like, dang, y'all noticed that quick, you know? So anyway, he's like, the tension seems personal, so let's dig into that and find out more information with that, okay? So, next, guys, we have, did you find it? We have, yeah, go ahead. Let me see, I'm just looking for the picture really quickly. So we have Train, who tells Ebony that he needs her to basically set up his girl, set up her girl, which is Candace. Okay. Now, I don't know where these pictures are, guys, but clearly they're just not around. I don't know what happened to them, so I'm sorry about that. So he tells her, listen, you need to make this marriage that seems to be shaky already. You need to shake it up some more, okay? Because we need to create some friction between them, because this is probably going to have him go off the deep end, and then we're really going to be able to have him where we want him. Okay, so Ebony does not waste any time, y'all. She gets on the phone and she's calling up her homegirl. Okay, like, yeah, we should get together and blah, blah, blah. All right. So Isaiah, he interrogates Stro. All right. And this is one scene where he was being very, like, just a jerk, just smug and all that stuff. But he interrogates him to no avail. Doesn't matter. Even if he tries to bring up the daughters, like the life of these men, it just seems like they just don't seem like criminals, right? Aside from Dion. I mean, Dion doesn't even seem like a criminal, honestly. He's just he's just like a gambler, right? And an idiot. So, and aside from saying "cuh" all the daggone time, he really doesn't seem like someone that is living that type of life, right? A criminal life. And this man here, Stro, he's got these little girls, and he's very close with them, and they're helping him fix the car. They're handing him tools. Like, these guys are like family men, So this is what Isaiah wants to use against Stro. Like, you're a father, you don't want to do time. I just need Coltrane, and I can promise you that, I can get you time less, I can get you less time and blah, 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 blah. Okay, but whatchamacallit, even at the mention of his daughters, which he perked up a little bit with that, like, what? It didn't work, right? Instead, he starts talking about this story, and he's like, yeah, I know you. You probably don't remember me, though, but we played against each other in high school and football and blah, blah, blah. And something happened. I guess they won one game. Isaiah's team won one game against them. Maybe I'm wrong, remembering it wrong. But the bottom line is that he said at one point he put Isaiah on his behind, right? Tackled him or whatever. And that was it, okay? And I'm just like, what's the point of that? I really thought that he was going to say something for real. But just to say that you put him on his behind, you won a game between him, what are you saying? Maybe y'all saw, you know what I'm saying, the symbolism behind that, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's because maybe he's trying to say, yeah, you think you hard, or you think that you got me or whatever, but don't forget, I put you down before, or I tackled your behind before I could do it again. Like, metaphorically, I guess. I don't freaking know. I'm harder than you, I guess. I don't know. What the heck? Anyway. J-Max says he put Isaiah in concussion protocol. I don't even understand that. But thank you for that. I'm not a football chick. I go to all of the whatchamacallit parties that my family has, but I don't understand football, but I try. My coffee done got so cold that it's literally like iced coffee now. Anywho, so let's see. I gotta find this picture because I do not want to talk about it without. I hate the fact that all of my slides are jacked up like this, y'all. I really freaking do. I normally don't come to the table like this. Time was not on my side tonight, child. Where is the picture of... Yo, whatchamacallit? All right, I'm going to have to talk about it. So Brenda Johnson, guys, shows up. I had a picture of that and everything. I don't know what the heck happened. So she shows up apologizing for missing the gala, okay? She gives Candace a gift certificate. Now, Brenda Johnson, guys, you already know who that is. That is Charlie in disguise, okay? Coming in looking like a whole soccer mom. She got the little hat on. I think she pulled up in a van. I don't know what she pulled up in, but she was looking like a whole soccer mom. Okay, and I was like, okay, cute little disguise. Okay, now she's there because I'm sorry, not Isaiah, Coltrane told her that he has Ebony on the job when it comes to trying to create more friction between Candace and Isaiah. She doesn't have any trust in Ebony. I already told you guys this already. She said she's not, she doesn't have it in her anymore. Do you trust her to do this, and that? Okay, so because of I think he was like, yes, she's got it, whatever. So she still didn't trust in her sister to have it. So she decides that she's going to show up to this woman's house, to Candace's house, and apologize for missing the gala. And we have a gift certificate to the spa and this and that, right? And so the plan was, we find out what the plan was through a conversation between Ebony and Charlotte. She's like, oh, so what was the plan for you to have your little minions or whatever go through her stuff while she's getting a massage and all this stuff like that? So that was the plan. So she was trying to create like a backup plan for if Ebony failed to do whatever she had to do, right? Okay. But with this little act, when Brenda Johnson is giving Candace the gift certificate, she's like, oh, I don't remember what her reason was, Candace. I don't remember her reason for not doing it. But she says, oh, I think it was a couples thing, right? And she says, no, my husband, he's kind of like, he's always working, so kind of a workaholic. So what about, like, do you do prenatal ones? And she was like, Brenda said, sure. You see, I'm still calling her Brenda, right, y'all? She said, sure. And she said, yeah, my friend is pregnant. She says, may I ask who she is? I may know her. My thing is, I don't care who your friend is. So why? Why did she ask who her friend was? I understand that was to help push the story along, but like you could take your friend and I don't care who your friend is. You know what I mean? Maybe because it was going against the plan that she had where she wanted it to be the couples massage instead, right? I don't know, but she asked, she said, who's your friend? And Candace tells her, oh, her name gives her the whole name, the whole name, okay? Full government. Ebony Styles. You know her? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I've heard. Did she say she don't know her? I think she said she don't know her. She said she don't know her. Okay, boom. So this is how Charlotte finds out that her sister is pregnant. She walks away pretty pissed off. All right. Now, next, guys, the boys, they successfully pull off their little heist, okay? And my guy, Coltrane, is so happy that Dion did a good job. And I was actually happy that Dion did a good job as well. He gave him his little flowers and everything. So you had everybody on check and blah, blah, blah. And he did. Dion did good, y'all. He really did. He did very good. He didn't talk like he normally did. He didn't say too much. He didn't say too little. He said everything he needed to say, right? He didn't do no extra crap. So I was very, very proud of Dion, okay? Now, by this time, Dion is growing on me. And so in the first and second episode, I wanted him dead really freaking badly, okay? Oh, yeah. Hey, AG, how are you? Girl, I am talking about a spoiler right to the now, honey. So if you care, you might want to hop off, honey buns. Because I am talking about a spoiler. But yes, please watch it and then come back and catch the replay. Unless you don't care about spoilers. But it's so good to see you as usual. Very good to see you. What was I saying? So yeah, by this time he's growing on me, y'all. Yes, a little bit, still annoying. As far as what you were saying, J Mac, about he was good when he played Magic Johnson, I can see that. I think with my members, oh, thank you. I think with my members, I explained that I was wondering if it was his acting that, like, I couldn't tell if his acting is what got on my nerves or if it was his acting or if it was just his character, right? And I figured it out that it was his character, right? Because he had some serious scenes where he had heart to heart and things of that nature, and he did very well. I just think that with him, where he went wrong is the cub. It was just too like hard, right? Like it was over. He just overdid the cub part, and that was the thing that for me made it just made him more annoying. Like on top of all the stupid things that he does, but I can't come for his acting though. I can't. But his character absolutely freaking annoying and just one of those people that they just don't learn. Like right, like they have to have something happen to them or something happen to someone close to them. Like and it's crazy. And even then, it hits them, but at the end of the day, will they really learn? I don't know. They just would probably feel really, really terrible about the consequences. I just feel like somebody like him just doesn't learn. Okay. So let's go. Let me see where else. All right. So Andre, y'all, he calls off the freaking job. Okay. These ninjas pull off one of the biggest, oh my gosh, the riskiest thing. They're such a risky, I guess I'll call it a heist. A risky job. Okay? And he calls and tells them that it's off. The job is off. And she's like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? It doesn't work like that. Like what? It don't work like that. And he said, you talk too much for a woman, You know what my people like my people, what we do to women like you, we make them disappear, da da da, like talking crazy once again to her, as usual. And clearly she does not have the power to fight back. It's not like she could this is where she's not like Rock at all, because I feel like Rock would have put some things in motion to have this guy handled. And her back is literally against the wall every time this guy comes at her crazy. Okay. So yeah, he said you talk too much, da da da. Like I don't care what you do to it, we're not gonna take the package and or the shipment or whatever. And not only that, you're not getting paid. And this was a lot of freaking money that they were all gonna be getting paid. A lot of money. I think it was like 2 point something million each. I think she was gonna get 9 million. Or 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I think she was gonna get 9 million. So, that's that, y'all. So Coltrane now, he has to tell his crew, because she calls him and she's like, "Listen, job's freaking. They're not gonna take the package." Blah blah blah. So Coltrane has to tell the crew. Of course, Dion wants to move the ketamine himself, or he wants them to try to move it. Like, no, we did that. We need the money and da da da. Like, what are you talking about? This and that. And for me, it just feels like, and obviously that's what it is. Dion be trying to act like he has to feed his family. I gotta feed my family. I gotta feed my family. But in reality, he has an addiction, right? And he's almost like itching like a crackhead or a heroin addict. And the money is not about him taking care of his family. It's about gambling. That's really all he wants to do. And he needs money because he wants to gamble. And of course, he needs money because he's gambling it away. But then when he gets it, he still doesn't use it for responsibilities. It's ridiculous. Art Love says Dion got to feed that bookie. So he wants to move it, all right? Coltrane tells him, listen, I kept my promise. 2 more jobs, regardless if we got the money or not. Regardless if there was a payday, I kept my promise to y'all. We did 2 more jobs. It's not up to me what happens after the job. There's nothing that's out of my control, but I'm out. So he drops 2 bombs on them. And Stro was like, what? What the heck? How you come in dropping this on us? Whatever. So he was just like, look, I'm out, y'all. Period. Like, and so he walks away and he leaves. Dion is still acting up, saying, yo, I don't, you better go talk to him, cuz, blah, 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 doing all his stupidness. And the uncle is like, not the uncle, because Dion's the uncle, Stro. is the nephew, and he's telling him, Stro is more like Dion's big brother because he's older than him, but that's still his uncle. And he steps into that big brother role pretty often when Dion gets out of control. Like, he puts his foot down on Dion a lot. A lot of times he be letting Dion slide with certain things, but when Dion gets out of control, he be putting his foot down on him. Like, yo, what I say, Ninja? Like, I'm not even gonna let you do that. So calm the heck down. Tells Choi to, keep him calm or whatever. Then he goes out there to talk to Coltrane. So Stro comes and he's like, yo, what happened? What are you doing? Like, you just gonna leave? You gonna drop that on us like that? And Coltrane was like, yeah, I'm out, but we got a bigger problem. Like, I need you to just, like, you need to calm your, Dion down, but we need the, what does he call Charlie? I don't remember what he calls Charlie. I think he said my guy. My guy is telling me that the buyer is acting funny, right? So we need to find him and follow him. And he was like, all right, say less, we on it, whatever. And he said, nah, I need you and Choi to handle this. I don't want Dion on this at all. Like, just let him cool off and whatever. So there we have that. And I like that scene where they were following Andre. And they are so smart. That's why, what's her name? She be using them because they're smart, okay? They had this. Well, obviously it's Coltrane who's the brains because every time they need to do something, you got Stro like, okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? Because they know that he's the guy that puts everything in play, right? So I like how they were following Andre. And yes, Andre was looking through his rear view and everything like that. So what would happen is when they come to like this exit, let's say it was Stro following Andre first, when they get to a certain exit, Stro would get off, and then you got Choi following him. So they follow him. Then you get there's another exit. Choi gets off the exit, and who's behind Andre now? Is Coltrane. So I like that, and they finally, they found him. I'm gonna jump ahead. They wind up finding him, guys, and this dude was a snitch the whole freaking time. Okay, they deleted him. I'm gonna try to get ready to hurry up and end this because it's it's an hour and 12 minutes. I'm gonna most likely miss a whole lot of steps and everything like that, but it's okay. I just wanted to give y'all the gist of how I felt about the show and certain things like that. But I'm about to try to close it up. So they wind up deleting him. First of all, they came in hot. They had this whole plan where everything was about to get bloody. Okay, so Coltrane now is kind of on demon time, and he's like, "Listen, yo, they did too much. Oh, that's why they got on demon time because Dion. So I gotta bring it back, y'all. Oh my gosh, I got to bring it the heck back. Let me follow these pictures because I don't want to. All right, so let's go here. It's Big Mama's birthday. Okay, so Big Mama is Stro's grandmother and Dion's mother. So it's her birthday. They're meeting up at the house and everything. They're going to barbecue. They're going to do all this stuff, whatever. So when she comes in the house, she's hugging. I don't know how long it's been since she's seen her grandson, but she's like, oh, my baby, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, how you been? And da, da, da. And she says, I had a dream about you. And you was crying your little eyes out. And he said, oh, Mama, Big Mama, I haven't cried. The last time I cried was years ago when you was whipping Dion for breaking your baby Jesus. So, I said, oh snap. So first of all, when Big Mama say she had a dream of him crying, my antennas went up. I said, uh-oh, first of all, this is grandmother. She's dreaming. Something about to happen. Once he responded with, I haven't cried since you whooped Dion, it automatically made me know something's about to happen to freaking Dion. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm over here like, oh, dang it. I'm talking about down to the last moment, y'all. I was hoping that Dion would get out of the situation. That's how much this guy freaking grew on me, okay? So Dion comes in He's like, hey, mama, and all of this. You know, it's so cute to see him like this with his mother, and he comes in with his wife and his kids and everything and whatever. And then he gets the call because he is making a deal. Okay. Now let's fast forward a bit. Let me see if I could find the little picture with, let me see. Because I think it's just, I'm so freaking irked that none of these pictures are in order. All right. Okay, so this picture right here, folks. So this is the picture right here. When he comes to the office, right? Wilder Holdings. He comes to the office and he's like, when I say he, I'm talking about Dion. And he says, you know, they're having another heart to heart. And he was like, yeah, you know, I just really need to feed my family and everything and blah, 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 da, 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 da. So Coltrane was like, yeah, but I'm out. Like, I got to take care of my family as well. And then this is where he finds out, where Dion finds out that Ebony is pregnant. Because he said, your family, right? Dion was like, your family? He's like, yeah, Ebony's pregnant, da, da, da. And so he's like, oh, okay, I didn't know, this and that, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. So even more of a reason why we need this money and da, da, da. So Coltrane's like, look, I need to, you know, I need to get out. So he said, but if you need anything, just let me know, you know. Matter of fact, call Ebony right now and put her on speakerphone. I'm sorry, not Ebony, Rena. Call her right now. Put her on speakerphone. So he's like, you know, what did he say? He got on the phone with Rena. Rena's on there. Dion said, Coltrane want to talk to you. So Coltrane says, hey girl, you know, I'm gonna give you some money. Send me your numbers for the your account, and I'm gonna put $500,000 in it. I said, oh my gosh. She was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Coltrane. This is gonna change everything and da 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 da. And I was like, that is so cool. So, you know, either us as viewers is gonna think that this is gonna be great. Like, what's his name is gonna be looking at it like, wow, yo, you a real ninja. Or he's gonna be pissed off. And I figured that he probably wasn't gonna like that, right? Because I knew what Coltrane was doing, right? He was pulling his card right then and there. Because he knows that if I put this money in your hand, like he said, if I put this money in your hot hands, it's going to wind up messing things up for all of us, okay? Because when they got off the phone with Rena, Dion was like, what the heck did you do? And he's like, I'm trying to help you out, whatever. And he's like, I don't need your money, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, stop that. Because you're trying to say you don't need my money, but at the same time, you need me to pull off this job or you need me to come with jobs for you. So it's pretty much like, stop. I do get it, what he's trying to say. Dion is trying to say, like, I can work for it myself or whatever, but we know that's not really what it is, okay? You are trying to get this big payday so that you can continue to gamble and be a freaking idiot. I don't want to keep just dwelling on that, but whatever. Yeah, that was another character, Lawanda, from BMF. It was Rena. So, yeah, a lot of actors in here, familiar faces. So, he told him, we can't do that. You know, I'm trying to set you up, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was really trying to set him up for life, which I loved. Coltrane was really trying to set this guy up. But once again, he's not thinking like this. This is not the type of dude that you want to, you know, try to even conduct any kind of business with, bring him on for anything. Like, it's crazy because he was really trying to have him make money in his sleep with residual income and all that. And it was just like, he didn't care about that. It was sad because I'm like, Dad, you really are a fool, you know, like he was really a fool, y'all. So let me see. I want to see if there's anything else that I missed. Oh, so with this scene right here, that's not what I wanted to do. With this scene right here, he acts like Dion, right? He acts like, okay, I got you, understand or whatever. And he said, all right. He shakes his hand and he leaves, knowing daggone well that this whole time he really had a plan to try to move the ketamine by himself. I'm talking about that whole daggone shipment, okay? So the day of his mother's birthday, He has a meeting with these guys to move the shipment. Excuse me. Lo and behold, these guys are undercover cops, or at least one of them is, okay? And I'm like, oh my freaking gosh. So what does this do? It puts Coltrane and his whole crew on the radar even freaking more, okay? And it's just really, really messed up. So what happens, guys, is that Dion winds up getting caught out there. He's surrounded by police and everything. So, and before that, Stro called him like, yo, where are you at, man? Like, I left and I came back, and now we trying to fire up the grill and everything. You couldn't even be here for Big Mama's birthday, la la la, whatever. He's like, I'm coming, I'm trying to do something, whatever. And he said, he was basically getting at him like, you're a freaking degenerate and this and that. Like, that's what Stro was telling him. Stro is really pissed off and disappointed with him. So one thing that I will say is Dion's last call was to Stro. So I'm glad that Stro doesn't have to live with like his last conversation to his uncle being, you know, him kind of talking down to him and telling him off, right? Because Dion called him. Because when the cops came, Styles came too. Because Styles wound up coming, and I had a picture. I don't know where that picture went, guys. He came on the scene, and it was a whole bunch of cops, and you know what, he was ready to shoot and ask questions later. And Styles was trying to keep him alive so that he can use him for the case. And he's like, wait, let me call him or whatever. So he calls him. I mean, he's like talking on the I always be forgetting what that thing is called, y'all. Anyway, so he's talking on the little thing, the bullhorn or whatever the heck that freaking microphone thingy is. It's called the something. I used to know what it's called, and the principals be using it. I forgot what it's called. Y'all can put it in the chat. So he was talking to him through, and he's like, yo, you know, this is not going to end well for you if you don't call me right now, such and such and such, whatever. He gave his number. And then he called him. He said, listen, you got a family, this and that. You want to make it home to them, or whatever. You know, you need to just cooperate and, you know, this and that. You know, talking all that stuff, trying to act like he cares, okay? And so Dion was like, okay, give me 2 minutes. So he took the 2 minutes to call his nephew Stro and tell him like, yo, you know, I just want to let you know that I think he apologized for certain things. And he said, you know, I looked up to you, even though you're my nephew. I've always looked up to you. I'm so proud of you and all this stuff. And Stro was like, yo, what are you talking about? Why are you talking like this? What's going on? This and that. And it was a heartbreaking scene, y'all. And I hate when this happens to me, like when there's a character that I'm like, oh, I can't stand you. I want you to die so bad. And then when they finally do, it's jacked up. And I'm like, why they do that? And that's their style on Power as well, right? Like, you won't care about somebody, but they will make you care. Like, when they're about to delete them off, they'll make you care. They'll have you spend the whole day with them, the whole episode and all that stuff, and then you get to see another side of them, and then you start to connect with them on a different level and this and that, and then it's like, dag. So when they do die, you feel it. So yeah, they're good for that. And I was just like, dag, man. It was sad, but you know, he lit his little blunt. He put the torched the shipment, and he came out. And he had his hands behind his back, and he had 2 blickies, and he was shooting at them because he knew if he shot at them, they're going to shoot him, right? He's like, you're not going to take me alive. That's what you're not going to do. So that's what he did. So Coltrane, and then when they find out that he's dead, now it's like, okay, it's up. We about to go crazy. It's about to be a bloodbath. Like, now Coltrane is on demon time. He's like, we need to do this for Dion. He went out honorably, this and that. Now, I will say I agree to an extent. Yes, he went out honorably, but that's because, once again, he had to correct his mistake. And he didn't even really correct the mistake, because now he fully blasted y'all with what he did. He left y'all. It may have been honorable in the sense of, yeah, he went out a certain way to where they wasn't going to take him and get nothing out of him. But he put y'all on the rate, like, I mean, full blasted them, okay? So now warrants really was going out. Now we really looking for Choi. Now we really looking for Stro. Now we really want Wilder. Before, Wilder was basically a white whale. He was somebody that everyone was looking at Styles like, yo, what are you? This is a freak. This man is a businessman now. Leave him alone, right? Now you put your whole crew on the radar. So at the end of the day, he still injured them severely. But now it doesn't matter because they're on straight demon time and they want to go after every freaking body. So who's one of the first people they go after? They go after Andre. And they say, Andre, he's the whole reason why this thing went down in the first freaking place. So we definitely gonna get him. We need to find out where the heck he is. They found out where he stayed, freaking broke up in there, blasted everybody on site. Then they left, and guess who they used to be the fourth man to drive? They used Amos. Coltrane straight up went and knocked on Amos's door and was like, yo, you want to work? You want to make some money? Now, this is how everything worked out, right? It just worked out so well. The night before that, or a few days before that, when Isaiah came over to apologize to his father and try to make amends and let's bury the hatchet, let's put things behind us. So now when he finds his son, Noah, in his father's house smoking weed with the homies, now he's like, I knew I should never trust you. Stay away from us. Da 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 da. You cut off now because you know he was paying his father's bills. You cut off. Da 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 da. So now, you know, I should have let you remain a criminal so I could bust you and arrest you and da 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 da. So now Amos is cut off and he ain't got no money. So now you get Coltrane knocking on the door. Want to make some money? Of course I want to make some money. My criminal mind. Of course I want to make some money. So now what does he do? He goes out. All he got to do is be a driver. That's what he's known for. He's known to be a driver. We find that out later on when Isaiah finds out that his father was a part of that whole situation. He said, that's what my father was known for. He never went into the job. He was always a driver, right? He's the wheelman or whatever he called him. So, long story short, y'all, because I thought I was wrapping this thing up. Long story short, he goes, they delete Andre, right? And then they're leaving. The job seems to be successful, meaning the hit was successful. But when they're in traffic, Vig makes the call to somebody and says, because remember, there's somebody in the LAPD that is the inside man for Charlie. So every time Isaiah and them get a little head of the game and they get some information on Wilder and his crew, that inside man at the LAPD gives Charlie the information. So now they can be 10 steps ahead, right? So Vig is calling whoever. We don't know who I didn't look. I told you I saw it one time. I don't think it was confirmed who he called, but maybe it was Charlie. I don't know. So he calls. He says, yeah, I know where they're going to be. Right? And I'm like, oh, so you're the one? No, it wasn't him. I mean, it was him, but it wasn't because it was mainly Harper. So Harper's there. They all go. They're like, oh, if you're going to go, then I'm going to go, right? Because there was nobody that was really trying to ride out with Styles. So they went. And during the traffic, you got Wilder and his crew. You know, the driver is Amos. And they're all in the van. And you could see, right? You could see through the van, the windows. They're not tinted or nothing like that. So Stro looks over and he sees in the car Vig and another person, like his partner or whoever. This ninja starts blasting through the glass, through the window and everything. And I'm like, what the heck? Why? I simply, that is a scratching my head moment if there ever was one. I did not understand why he did that, but he did it. And it was so stupid and bad because I really don't think that if he was on your side, so here's the thing though, right? Stro doesn't know Charlie. He doesn't know what she does or who she knows or what. He doesn't know any of that, right? So he's not gonna know that Vidge is on his side or helping and nothing like that. But at the same time, if the cop didn't like do anything when he recognized you, why did you shoot first? That was crazy. Like it's like he channeled his inner Dion. Like, what are you doing? Like Dion's whole stupid spirit jumped into him. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why would you do that? So this causes a whole shootout on, what is it called? Center City or something like that? Center City shootout, y'all. I'm talking about dumb guns sounded like, I don't know what. It didn't sound like regular shots, man. I mean, it was on some doop 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 doop. I was like, this is crazy. The way the bullets were sounding was very crazy. Sound like a whole war zone. So because they had to get out the car and just start. That scene was fire though. I'm so sorry it was fire. I don't condone violence, but they was spraying cops down, y'all. And my thing is, there's no coming back from this, right? Like, there is no coming back from this. They are going to, whenever they do get you, if they don't get you now and they do finally get you, you're probably dead on sight. Or when you get into prison, they're going to delete you. Like, come on. Or really treat you severely bad, right? So anyway, whatever. So now Isaiah's there, of course, because why wouldn't Isaiah be there? Isaiah's there, and he's shooting and shooting and shooting, and then the father's there, and he's shooting on the other side. And when Isaiah saw he was getting ready to take a shot, when he saw that it was his father, he was like, oh my gosh, and he hesitated. Of course, he's not going to shoot his dad. His dad saw him, didn't do nothing to him either. They went on. Okay, so now I'm trying to see if I can fast forward. Where are we going? Oh, I forgot. Let's pause the shootout scene and everything for a second. Candace goes to Ebony's house, right? And Isaiah gave her that necklace, and there's a bug on it. And so you see that necklace? He is watching this whole okay, so I guess I don't have the picture of him doing that, whatever. So he is watching the whole conversation, okay? He's listening to the whole conversation and watching and everything. And there's a question that Isaiah, what's her name? Ebony asked Candace, like, did you ever, because they're talking about Malik, like, did you ever think that you might have made the wrong decision and this and that? And she was like, I never did before, but lately I have. And he was like, what? So he over here thinking he's just going to probably get some information or whatever. And then he's kind of hearing some other stuff. Because this girl, Candace, she calls her for everything personal, right? Like, girl, like texting her. She texts Ebony, do you believe Isaiah missed the winning shot? Do you believe he left whatchamacallit in the street or whatever? Like, all of that type of stuff, right? He didn't show up for dinner. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that real quick. He didn't show up for dinner. Oh, this is the scene I was telling you about. So he was about to come home for dinner because she called him and she was like, you want to have lobster, for dinner, da, da, da. He said, yeah, I'm coming, everything like that. So this guy, he's an undercover cop. He was the one that busted what's his name, or got Dion cornered, right? So he tells him, listen, you want to ride out with me for this and that? And Isaiah just finished promising his wife that he's going to be home, or not promising her or whatever, but just saying that he's going to be home soon. And he said, of course I am. Like, yeah, I'm going to. And it's like, dag, man, you can't sit this. Oh my gosh, that's so loud. Jeez. And I'm just like, why you can't, it's about to be a lot of kids coming through the door, y'all. Please excuse me. And I'm like, why you can't just like say no? You don't have to be there, bro. Like you don't have to be there. Like, come on. But he's the type, he just has to be the one to do it on his own and things of that nature. Let me go open this door for them. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. Oh my God.
Front door open.
Be quiet, please. Where's your sister? Why not?
Because it wasn't being shooting.
Well, you should have said something then. All right. Sorry, guys. Where the heck was I at? I hate when y'all be interrupting my stuff. Yeah. This is, I really have to figure out a new area because y'all, this main area is not good. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, I was saying that I just think like, you know, he didn't have to be there. So he didn't show up for dinner. You got Isaiah and Noah and his mama eating lobster by themselves. And so she hits up Ebony because Isaiah didn't show up for dinner. He didn't show up for dinner. And so what does Ebony tell her to do? Time to do you, girl. I'm like, what? So what does Candace do? Like she's a stupid little schoolgirl listening to this lady. You know, what days work for coffee? Because Malik is still trying to get this girl. And it's just so disrespectful and slimy. And my thing is, girl, why do you think that Malik is a better choice this time when he is clearly a slime ball, right? Because he really shouldn't be after you when you're married. That should show you everything you need to know about anyone, right? Because you can't even respect the marriage. How are you going to respect our marriage if you were trying to pursue me while I was married? Like, come on. So stupid. Anywho. So, yeah, she goes and, she gets ready to get her little zinner going. Like, look. And then talking about the problems and this and that. And I had a picture where she actually kissed him in this scene. And I don't know where the heck that picture went. I mean, I lost tons of pictures during this situation, y'all. And yeah, she kissed him. And guess what? Ebony gave them the location and everything. She said, I know the spot that y'all can go to and everything. Why? Because Ebony was over there taking pictures of her kissing this man. And I said, it's mighty funny that she didn't wear this necklace while she was, out with this man over here. I thought that would have been real funny, child. So that picture that she took, it came in handy later on when Ebony, when they were going after the Wilders, and he came in with his attorney and all of them people, and you had Cerulo telling, oh my gosh, I'm trying to stay on track, y'all, but I really want to get this over with. Dang. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to be done, y'all. I'm not going to lie. But it's so much still to talk about. That's why you never talk about like a whole series and try to do it within an hour or two because it's very hard. Okay, so now let's go back to the scene where they're shooting all over the place in Center City, right? Central City, Center City, whatever the heck. They're shooting it. It's on the news. It's going crazy, right? So now Amos gets away. Coltrane gets away. Troy doesn't. Stroh doesn't. He gets hit, but he's in the hospital. Troy's in the hospital as well. Okay, we never see Troy and Stroh again. They are alive though, right? Also, during that time, Brinkley gets shot, but he's alive in critical condition. Okay, great. So now, Isaiah is looking for his father. I need to find my father, right? But there's two reasons. You would think, I'm looking for my father because I care about him. But no, he was really looking for his father. He gave one reason was that I want to find him before the other police officers do because they're going to delete him and I need to bring him in, right? And then his other reason was because he knows that his father probably knows where Coltrane is. But his father is very strict. He's old school. He's an OG and he's very serious about not snitching. Like he doesn't give a dag on what. So I'm not snitching and I'm not telling, right? But like I'm not telling you nothing, right? I said I'm not snitching and I'm not telling. Same thing. And he's like, I need to know where my father is, da da da. So he's still looking. He's going everywhere he can to find his dad. He does finally find him in like a strip club or whatever for another OG and everything. He goes in and he's talking and everything. Amos is talking. Whatchamacallit goes into the strip club. He talks to his dad, whatever. And Coltrane is looking for Amos as well because Coltrane wants to delete Amos, okay? Because once again, Coltrane is very serious about tying up loose ends. That's another MO of theirs that Styles has caught on to, is that they tie up loose ends, right? This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to have anybody out here that could say anything, right? Or lead back to us. So Amos is a loose end. So they're trying to get away because now it's hot. When I'm talking about I'm talking about Charlotte and Ebony. They're trying to get away. They have a jet. It's leaving at midnight. She's trying to call Coltrane and be like, Charlotte, and say, listen, you need to just come with us and meet us because, let the cops handle that. They're going to shoot him on sight or whatever. Because first of all, the plan was, they tried to set up Amos to take everything, to take the fall for the M of Andre, right? Because they had him put his fingerprints on a gun. Coltrane gives him a small gun and was like, yeah, that seems like it suits you or whatever. And he was like, yeah, just like old times, just being real stupid, right? Not knowing he being set up the whole time. So his fingerprints are on the blicky that deletes Andre, right? But how Coltrane plays it off is he takes it back from him and say, you know what? Nah, I think you need something bigger. So he gives Amos. He gives Amos a bigger situation. Okay, I don't want to keep saying the G word. All right. He gives him a bigger situation. And so that's how his whole plan was. He's going to go down for this whole thing, right? But now he's calling him a loose end, and he wants to make sure that he deletes him now before he gets out of town. And Charlotte is like, yo, let the cops handle that. Just come with us. Like, we got to go. He's not listening. And so you guys know what happened. Eventually, whatchamacallit gets to the house. What's his name? Amos. He wants to get his other son Josiah's chain, and it has a J because Isaiah snatched it off his neck that night when he told him, I'm done with you, right? So it's at Isaiah's house. So Amos breaks into the house, goes to get the chain, but he also leaves Isaiah a bag of money with a note saying, here goes your 300,000 such and such dollars. I don't owe you nothing, right? And because that's what Isaiah had said to him, like, I paid 300,000 for you or whatever. And he's like, I don't owe you, I don't owe you anything anymore, whatever. So he's leaving, he's giving him that money, but then who walks in? Noah walks in. He's like, Grandpa, what's going on? What are you doing here? Now, Noah at this time, he knows that his grandfather was a part of a shootout because he sees everything on the news and he doesn't want to hear it though. Like, Grandpa wouldn't do that. He's changed, da 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 da. But poor baby he didn't know, right? So he's trying to tell his grandfather, listen, you may have made some mistakes or whatever, but you can change, you can fix it. Like, do right by one of your sons, the one son that you have left, do right by him and this and that. Sorry. And it looked like he was kind of getting through to him a little bit. But then there's a knock at the door. And so it's Coltrane at the door. And so Amos tells his grandson, he said, get in the closet, don't say anything or whatever. So he gets into the closet. He also gives him the blicky. Because he's putting him in the closet. I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do with it with the blicky, but that's the grandson had it. Okay, so Coltrane comes into the house because Amos opens the door, and he comes into the house and they're talking. They don't even have that much to say to each other, and then he shoots him, and then he stands over him and he shoots him a few more times, and he says, "Now we're even, Styles." And the grandson sees this whole thing, like he witnesses this whole thing. Meanwhile, he has the blicky in his hand, but he doesn't take the shot. And this is something that bothers him after the fact. And he's like, I could have took the shot and all that stuff, right? So they bring him down. So they come in. What's the name? Cruz comes in the door because at this time, or before this, Candace was in contact with Detective Cruz, who is Styles' partner, right? She has lost all faith in Styles because she knows that he been doing some real messed up stuff, including gifting his wife with a bugged necklace. So she's looking at him like he will just do anything. Like, I just don't trust him and this and that. And like, she's just disgusted with Styles. So now as soon as she comes in the door. So wait, let me back up. Isaiah was also on the way to his house. And when he gets there, he sees his father on the floor. And he's like, Amos, like, starts freaking out. And he's like, Dad, no, get up, get up. You can make a fight, this and that, whatever. He's crying, everything. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of sad here. This is kind of freaking sad. And the son is there, and he's like, Dad, he's like, what happened? What's going on? Like, it's a very chaotic scene, especially because everybody that's coming on site, they don't know what just happened. But Styles, of course, everything goes for him. Everything leads back to Coltrane, but nobody ever wants to hear it, right? So now, who else is coming through? So, like I was saying, back to this chick over here, Dr. Styles, I'm going to call her because her name is escaping me right now. Candace. So she was already in contact with Detective Cruz because they were trying to figure out where the heck Isaiah was. Okay? And she's like, oh, he's, because I think at this time he was on house arrest, I believe. No, he wasn't on house arrest yet. So she's like, let me know when you find him or whatever. So Candace calls Cruz when she finds out that Isaiah was on his way home. And I'm just thinking to myself, why did you do that? Right? Whatever. So she does that. Cruz is on the way there. She's there with other cops. When she gets there, she sees Isaiah and his son Noah standing over a dead body, which is his father's body. So all of a sudden, I'm not all of a sudden, I'm talking about immediately, she goes into this whole thing, oh, this is a crime scene. Everyone move. This is a crime scene. Candace gets there and everything. She moves Candace out the way. Like, it's really a lot going on all of a sudden. No, your son is in custody. He's a suspect in this and all of it. And I said, what the heck is going on? And Candace is looking at her too, like, what are you doing? Like, you know me. Why are you acting like this? I'm sorry, I have to do my job and da-da-da. I was like, yo, whatever happened with that right there, it was too much. Like, she just flipped. And it was like, okay, whatever's going on, whatever feelings you have against Isaiah right now, you don't need to be taking it out on Candace. Like, that's wrong. And I don't know how long her and Isaiah were partners, but that was whack. Like, she literally started treating Candace like trash. Okay, like a regular civilian that she didn't know. And I said, this is corny. And she's like, oh, we can't have them together, because we don't want them to, make up some stories or get their stories together and all that. Everything that she was trying to think and put together, it didn't make any kind of sense, right? Because it was like, how are we going to put stories together when we weren't even there long enough? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you knew I wasn't here. It was just so dumb. Like, it was stupid, yo. It really was. And the way she just flipped like that, it was stupid. There was another thing that she tried to put together, and it just didn't make any sense. And even when she was talking to Styles in the interrogation room, he was like, think. Like, why would I want to do this when I was trying to do this and do that? I wish I could remember the exact scenario, but I can't. But it was just really, I just couldn't believe how she was switching up like that. And I was like, what is wrong with you? But I like how Jimmy, the captain, how he had to put her in her place because she was like, he was like, I'm gonna have Styles, Isaiah, I'm gonna drive him down to the station. And she was like, no, I don't think you should. Because she was trying to have I think Harper do it, and he was like, no, I'll do it or whatever. And she was like, no, I don't think you should. I think you're too close to this case and stuff like that, and that you should let me be lead. And my thing is, how are you going to be lead when you was his partner? You are his partner. So shouldn't that already be a conflict of interest? Like, certain things was like, the ball was being dropped. I'm talking about the writer's ball. It was being dropped a little bit because I wasn't really understanding this girl's mind, unless it was purposely being done because of the fact that she was in her feelings and it wasn't making her think. I could understand that if that's the case. Right? But it was just like, what are you talking about, girl? So she said, you're too close to this case. You're biased and everything. And he said, okay, understood. But nobody's going to tell me I'm the one who gets to say who's going to drive who downtown. And remember that I'm the freaking captain. Don't you freaking forget it. And he was like, yeah, I'll let you take lead, but don't forget that it's going to go by what I say. Right? So anyway, y'all, I'm trying to find the best way to wrap this up as quickly as I can, yo. Let me think about a long story short, which is not easy. So Isaiah and Noah are now in interrogation separately. They can't see each other. They can't talk. They wouldn't even allow the mother, Candace, to ride down to the station with her son. But she did say, don't you say anything to anyone. So of course they couldn't interrogate him without her in the room. But he couldn't drive down. She couldn't drive down with him, which is whatever. So eventually we get Noah telling the cops that it was Coltrane Wilder who shot his grandfather. Okay, and so now they're taking that. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do with it. You saw it. I'm trying to wrap it up. And then later on, we see that Isaiah was on house arrest. Another scene is where we have Noah, who he escapes the house because he wants to go get revenge on his grandfather's death, right? And he wants to basically ride out with the homies. And one thing that I want to say about this is what I was talking about before, where, and I'm glad that I'm bringing this up because that's something that I really wanted to say, where I said there's certain things that I'm seeing when it comes to, I guess, Courtney Kemp and the way she deals with the youngins, the young men. I don't understand why they always have to, maybe not always, but she has to take this young man who is in a, comes from a privileged home, right? He's a little basketball player. He seems like a good student and everything. But now he wants to be a gangster because somebody deleted his grandfather. He wants to hang out with the homies, he wanted this, he wanted that. And I'm just like, why you, like, so it's like she's trying to turn, and I hate to say it, but it just, I'm looking at the thing that happened with Tariq and how he just turned sour, right? He just, it was like a downward spiral. And we saw, at least with Tariq, there was some work being done. Like, we saw how, whatchamacallit, did a number on this boy to really work him to turn him into the little monster that he is. But this right here with Noah is happening too fast, right? He's over here running and he's shooting and he's doing this and that, and it's just like, it's not in you, boo. Like, it's too soon. Maybe you need to be around the homies for a little a little longer before you start this. Like, what the heck is going on? So I just kind of feel like I would love to see the creator of these shows take a young man and let him and just have like a positive kind of story, right? Because it always seems to, it has to go to this life. It always has to go like he's on the straight and narrow, this kid, but then something goes on and now he's in the streets. And it's just like, I know maybe it's great for storytelling, but you told that story once. You don't need to do it again. Okay? So, but I kind of see how, like, let's say if we removed Power and we didn't know nothing about Tariq and Ghost in them, I could see how this situation would kind of work, because it's almost like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree type of situation, right? Like, you had Amos, who was called Nightmare, and he was a horrible guy on the streets, right? And then he had a son who was just like that. Then you have this one son who decides, I don't want to be like that. But what if you're that one son that doesn't want to be like that? He creates, his offspring kind of gets the gangster gene, right? Where that might be something that is in him. So I could see it working out, right? I could see it making some type of sense a little bit. But because of the fact that we've kind of seen this before, that's why I'm saying something about it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not really I'm not complaining. I just would like to see something different is all I'm saying, right? You want to see a kid doing some good, and just, if you're going to keep the drama going, let it just be with the parents. You don't have to include the kid in all the drama and he's turning to the streets and blah, 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 whatever. Anywho, so I know I still have Candace on here, because let's talk about Candace. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm never going to be done with this because there's still so much to freaking talk about. Oh my freaking gosh. How do I wrap this up? I don't have any more notes. I don't have no more notes. This is it. I don't have any more notes. Let me see what it says. All right, let me say this. At the end of this whole thing, there's fingerprints that was found at the crime scene of Detective Shaw. They freaking belonged to Ebony. Now, during my first recap for episodes 1 and 2, I said that we don't know for sure who deleted Detective Shaw, right? Because when we saw the flashback, we saw 2 guys running, right? And then when they get in the van, you see Coltrane remove his mask and it's him. But that does not mean that he was the one that shot him, right? Because we saw 2 people running. Now, it also doesn't mean that just because Ebony's fingerprints are the ones that was found at the scene, does not mean she did it either, right? It could just mean because she was always, instrumental on his jobs and she was always doing the stuff with him. It could just mean that it's because she was around, right? But the fact that she sat there one night and she had dinner with Coltrane and she was like, do you think that the M of Detective Shaw could trace back to us in any way, right? He said no, it can't. But to me, the fact that she asked that question kind of tells me that it's a very strong possibility that she may have had something to do with it, that she may have been the one to delete Detective Shaw. Now, I could see her doing that if Detective Shaw was about to delete her man. We see how this girl gives it up when it comes to her family. That girl could get demonic, y'all. She starts to freak, like she'll pull off this whole like little sweet innocent act. Yeah, we gotta take care of this, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. You know how she was talking to Candace and then she gives Candace a hug, right? She's giving her a hug. This is her. Yeah, I know. And then let me act like I'm hugging her. I know. She was smiling, right? Then when she walks, she's like, she's freaking evil. And so, girl, like, and then she told her sister, she said, you be calling me Ivy League, as an insult, but like, yeah, I'm really that one, I'm gonna get it done. I said, oh my gosh, she probably gonna be on a whole nother freaking level on season 2. Starring Toya says, where is that? So Charlie had 2 inside men. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And my thing is, did they even know about each other? Because they were supposed to be, I thought they were partners, Vidge and Harper, right? So it's kind of like, because she was all mad, like, yeah, my partner was deleted and da-da-da. I need to go because my partner was deleted and da-da-da. But then that's how we found out that she was the inside person for sure, right? And then, at some point, Charlie put a hit on, okay, so Noah became a loose end, and so she put a hit out on Noah, okay, so that he wouldn't say anything or whatever. Whatchamacallit, Candace, she begged, like, can you please make the phone call not to have somebody hurt my son? So what happened was they had Ebony in custody because when what is her name? Candace went over to Ebony's house and she had the little necklace on again because she was trying to get Ebony to confess to something. Ebony wound up saying something that basically placed her in like a conspiracy type of situation, right? Conspiracy to commit him. So that right there made the police bust in and grab her up, right? Was the police? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting, y'all. The police. Oh my gosh, Jesus. I don't remember the events whatever. Y'all saw it. I don't remember like the sequence. So I do know that when her and Ebony were together, folks bust in, and that was the cartel because now, whatchamacallit, he called in the whole cartel thing. He called in a favor. Like, I need you to delete Coltrane. That's what I need you to do. Okay. Ebony said no, it wasn't. Yes, yes. But I don't remember the events, right? All right, so I think Ebony was taken into custody and she was able to get out, right? That was before that. So now this time around, right, okay, now I got it. Ebony said no was in danger, so that's when whatchamacallit was like, oh, that's it, we got it. Conspiracy to commit him. She couldn't even wait. She's such a stupid idiot. I'm talking about Cruz. She couldn't even wait for Ebony to say more things, right? That's all she needed. Oh, that's conspiracy. Let's go. So they got in there, grabs Ebony out, and Candace was like, wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Noah's in trouble. Noah's in danger. Da, 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 whatever, right? So after all that dies down, Ebony's able to come out. She's able to get home, and what is her name? She goes. What is her name again, y'all? Candace. She breaks into Ebony and Coltrane's house, and she is looking for stuff. So she finds that burner phone or whatever that phone is. That I don't even think it's a burner. It's because she used that phone all the time. She has it in a specific spot and everything. She finds it, y'all. She found it. Okay. Now she the detective. So she finds it, and Ebony catches her in the house. And they're like, what are you doing here? She there starts to fight and this and that. But then the cartel comes through, right? And they take Coltrane's wife and they call Coltrane up. And they're like, yeah, if you want your wife, you better come here and this and that. So Coltrane comes, and it's not his wife, though. It's Candace. So he unties Candace or whatever, and he's like, I'm not going to hurt you and this and that. Where's Ebony? She was like, she got hurt, So during that time when they bust in, Ebony was hurt. And so they had to call one of the numbers to find, she called Cruz to find out what happened to Ebony. And she put it on speakerphone. And she found out that Ebony was sedated, the baby was okay, but she's in custody right now. So now he has to call Big Sis Charlotte and say what's going on. Ebony needs your help because so that's another thing I'm skipping. You see, y'all, I'm skipping. When that's how Ebony was able to get released the first time when Cruz came to get her, right? She called off the hit on Noah. She didn't necessarily call it off. She called her sister to have it called off. And so she did, okay? The sister was upset, of course, but she did, okay? She said, don't worry about it. The kid is whatever. So you had the whole time Harper's following whatchamacallit around and tries to delete Noah, but she gets the call that, you got a new target, forget Noah. It's a new target now. I already knew who the new target was. The new target was, whatchamacallit, what's his name? Coltrane. Oh, and we find out that, she chose you over me. Okay, so now Coltrane, Harper tries to delete Coltrane. Harper shoots him from afar, and he's wearing a vest, so he tries to play dead or whatever. When she gets up on him, he does whatever he needs to do to her. Eventually snaps her freaking neck. Good riddance. And then he calls Charlie, and she's like, of course, upon hearing his voice, she's like, okay, so Harper's dead. And he's like, yeah, and I'm not even mad that you tried to have me taken out because I became a loose end. I understand that. She's like, Charlie, Ebony chose you over me, this and that. And he's like, forget about all of that right now. Like, she's in trouble. She needs you. She's sedated, this and that. She's been hurt. She needs you. So Big Sis goes into action. She has her little people that's on the payroll coming in, like they little candy striper girls. They coming in. they go and they wake her up, whatever she was, she was sedated, so they give her something that wakes her up, and they're like, time to go, let's go. They all take her out of the hospital and put her into an ambulance, and her sister's in the ambulance, and she sees her sister. She was like, oh, Charlie, thank you so much, Charlie. And she's like, I got you, baby sis. I was like, I like that. Like, she don't play about her sister. So they get away. And now Coltrane, he had to create a diversion so that all of this can take place. He makes sure he gets into the hospital. He makes sure that they see him on the security camera and everything so that they can come into one of the staircases to try to chase after him. Meanwhile, his wife is getting away. And so here's the thing, and I hope I can close with this, y'all. Oh, I think I'm going to be able to close with this. Before he gets to the hospital, he's talking to Candace, and she's like, I think the message was that Ebony wants him to leave, right? He's like, I can't leave without her, right? I'm not gonna do that. That's my wife. Like, I'm not having that. And so when Ebony said that, when Candace heard him say that, I already know what was going on in her mind. She was like, dang, here go a whole criminal, and he know how to treat his wife better than my cop husband, supposed to be a law-abiding man, or a law enforcer, treating his wife better than I'm treated by my husband. This guy's willing to do anything for the safety of his wife. His wife is a priority for him. That's what she's thinking, y'all. Which is the reason why at the freaking end of the episode, she goes to Malik's house. And talking about, I wonder if I made the wrong choice. Why are you going to Malik's house? Just because you got a problem, so now you got to go to Malik's house? I wonder if I made the wrong choice and all that. And then they start kissing, and of course they get it in. Because she must be wearing something of his, because she changed into like this sweatsuit and all that, and then got the nerve to still talk about something. I'm with Isaiah. Like, you did that, and now you want to talk about you with Isaiah? What the heck do you think is going to happen, okay, when this man wants to continue to be with you, right? He's gonna probably blackmail you or I don't freaking know. I don't know. But I will say this, because he wants to run for I don't know what he want to run for. He want to run for something. Something higher than what he is. And when Cerulo told him to ask, and that's what I got off track for last time, y'all. Cerulo told him to ask a specific question to Coltrane, right? And I think it had to do about something about the shooting. I don't remember what the question was. I could be wrong. So he didn't go ask the question because Ebony texted him that picture of these two kissing. Okay? And so because she texted him that picture, he didn't ask the question that he was supposed to ask. All right? So that is how things were able to just like go the way they went. Okay. But anyway, this man was being pursued after he left the hospital. He is still being pursued. He gets away. They're following him in a car, but he is, I don't want to say he gets away, but he kind of does, right? So I think he jumps out of the car because he's kind of being like cornered or trapped by the little thugs, because they trying to find him too. So now they find him, they shooting at him, so he's running, and I'm just like, this is a hot mess. Okay, so he gets to like this alleyway where he's trying to run and gets away from everybody. Hey, queen. He gets away, and here comes Noah. He's like, you need to pay for shooting my grandfather, this and that. And he was like, come on, kid, trying to talk to him. You do this, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, da da da. And the who was after him, y'all? The cartel was also guys, this is a mess, right? The cartel was also after him because Isaiah cashed in the favor. But then he tried to take it back and was like, no, I need him alive. I got to arrest him and this and that. And the guy, Alvarez, was like, no. He deleted like 6 of my men. Heck no. The hit it has to go through, like not at all. So now the cartel is chasing him and all this stuff. Everybody's freaking trying to catch Coltrane, right? He's a freaking gingerbread man at this point. So he goes into the alleyway, and when Noah gets to him and he's trying to hold the gun on him and say whatever, the cartel guy comes and he's shooting, and he winds up shooting Noah in his leg. And so Noah falls, and then the father comes behind Isaiah, right? He comes and he shoots the cartel dude dead. And he has his gun on, he's pointing his gun at, what's his name? At Coltrane. But Coltrane goes over and he's putting pressure on Noah's leg. And he's like, you better think about this, because if I let him go, he's going to bleed out. Or how about this? You let me go. You put your gun down first, and you come over here and you hold your son's leg, right? So he can survive, and let me get the heck up out of here. You better make a choice. So while, of course, Isaiah wants to save his child, but while he's trying to think about it, all these things are flashing in his head, right? So he sees his father, he sees Shaw, he sees Brinkley, like he sees all these people, and he's like, all right. So he puts his gun down, and then he goes over, whatchamacallit, runs off, but he has to climb a fence. And so Isaiah starts to hold his son, and then he calls, did he call for help? I'm pretty sure he did. Anyway, he calls for an ambulance. But Shaw, not Shaw, what is his name, y'all? Coltrane turns around and he's like, you never win. And I was like, why you had to say that? Like, I'm happy because I want you to get away. But when he said that, it kind of made me nervous, because it was like, bro, you saying something, you talking cocky right now, and something might freaking happen to you. Just shut the heck up. So that made me kind of nervous, but he was able to hop the fence, and he got away, y'all. He got away. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of things that I did not freaking talk about, because man, oh man, trying to talk about this thing was chaotic, and it has so many things going on that just, when I think about it, I'm like, dag, I want to talk about it all, and I don't want to like leave gaps. Even though y'all saw it, I still want to talk about it. That's just how it is. But woo, finished, guys. I'm finished. That is how the episode ended, I believe, with Coltrane getting away and this man telling him that he will never win. And I'm like, wow. So what is the next season going to be about? I don't know, but like I said, I just wish that they would have, called it a day. That's all. They should have just wrapped it up in one season. I'm pretty sure it could have been a nice little bow. I don't want to see little Noah trying to be the second little nightmare. We don't need that, okay? Anywho, guys. Did you guys enjoy the recap? I hope you did. I'm about to get the heck up out of here. Thank you so much for sticking it out. Seems like you guys are relaxing and listening. And I appreciate you. All right. Let's see. Oh, you got another one from me. Man on Fire next review. Okay. So I did hear that was good as well, Art Love. So I have been doing I've been on a little Netflix train, y'all. I did what's the show that I just did with the little boys, the British boys on the island? Lord of the Flies. And now I just did the review of Nemesis, and I have no problem doing Man on Fire. I just don't know when that'll be, because The Shy is back, so I gotta watch that, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, for sure. I hope that I think the thing with me is I kind of get afraid that by the time I get through a series on Netflix, it won't be trending anymore. And I really don't like to waste my time on a review that's probably not going to get that many views, right? And so that's another reason why going live is kind of easier, because I don't have to do any editing and all that stuff. So then it's not really a waste of time like that. So, but I rather do it like that, cuz I really did, thank you, your queen. I really did want to do this in a video format. I really did, but I got nervous about, just putting in all that work, like two episode. And I think it would have been a more thorough review if I would have, went according to my original plan, which was to do 2 episodes at a time, video. But then it just wouldn't have been whatever. And then to hear that there are some mixed reviews and some people are saying it's not worth it and things like that, I'm glad that I did it this way, because, it might not get that many hits, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay for me to sit here and talk to you guys like this and let it be however it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? And if people watch it, they watch it, but at least I don't have to work as hard, you know what I'm saying, y'all? So I got to go find out what's going on with The Chi. I think I'm going to make sure that I watch that tonight and relax and stuff. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Now, I'm not sure when I'm going to, do my live for The Chi. I would really hope that it will be tomorrow, but I have something to do. But I hope that it will be tomorrow. But I will keep you guys posted, okay? If not, it's going to be between tomorrow and Monday. All right? Anyway, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. This has been my recap/review of the Netflix series Nemesis, which I enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here. Your queen, Yolanda, starring Toya, Art Love. We had Rashonda Greer up in here. J Mac, who else? AG was here, and some few other people. All right, thank you guys once again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I think I said that already, so then let me go. Have a good night.